Hello friends, this is Professor Himanshu Deshmukh. So in our today's video, we'll see basics of curvilinear motion. So up till now we have seen linear motion, projectile motion, and today we are going to see the basics of curvilinear motion. Now curvilinear motion, as the name itself suggests, that it is a curvilinear, that means which includes a curve. Okay, so a sample of curvilinear motion is shown in this particular figure. In this figure you can see that this is the curved path. Okay, this is the path of any particle. Okay, any particle or any body, say car or train or motorcycle or anything. So this is a curved path of any particle. Okay, now this path, if you observe, it is a curved path, and the motion of that particular particle on this curved path is known as curvilinear motion. Okay, so the motion of any particle which is going in this particular direction, that is the direction of curve, it is known as curvilinear motion. Okay, it is the combination of two things, curve and linear. Okay, so that becomes the curvilinear motion. Okay, now understand that whenever a particle is moving on a curvilinear motion, or it is moving with a curvilinear motion, so that time obviously that particle covers a certain distance. Okay, and since it covers a distance, it should have a certain velocity. Okay, because of which it is covering a certain distance, and since it has velocity, it should also possess certain acceleration. Okay, so in curvilinear motion, the acceleration of that particular particle is composed of two parts. Okay, first is tangential acceleration, which is represented by at, and second is an. Okay, that is normal acceleration. Okay, tangential acceleration and normal acceleration. So the acceleration of that particular particle is resolved in two components. First is tangential acceleration and another one is normal acceleration. Okay, and the resultant of both this tangential acceleration and normal acceleration is the total acceleration. Okay, so at represents tangential acceleration, an represents normal acceleration, and what is a? A is the resultant of both this, and that is the total acceleration. So our main acceleration is this. Okay, this is the acceleration by which that particle is moving on the curved path. However, this total acceleration is resolved in two components, a tangential acceleration and a normal acceleration. And understand friends that these two acceleration are responsible for the particle to move on a curved path. Okay, now see. This tangential acceleration, as the name itself says, that it is tangential. Okay, so it is acting at a tangential direction on a curved path. Okay, now this tangential acceleration is responsible for the movement of that particle. Okay, so if a particle is moving on this curved path, this tangential acceleration is responsible for the movement of this particle on this curved path. Okay, so the distance is covered because of tangential acceleration. And this normal acceleration is responsible for the direction of that particle. Okay, so if the particle is moving on this curved path, the path which that particle is tracing, okay, in this case it is moving in a curved path. So because of normal acceleration, it is moving in a curved path. Okay, if this would have not been there, this particle would have gone in a straight line. Okay, but since this normal acceleration is present, okay, and it is acting in inward direction. Okay, it is acting in inward direction. So because of this acceleration, it is acting in inward direction. That is why it is also known as centripetal acceleration. Okay, now because of this acceleration, that particle is moving in a curved path. Okay, it is pulling that particle in this direction. That is why instead of going in straight direction, it is tracing a curved path. Okay, so for a particle to move in a curved path, it requires both tangential and normal acceleration, or we can say that in other words, tangential acceleration and normal acceleration are responsible for a particle to trace a curvilinear motion. Okay, or to have a curvilinear motion. And again, this is angle theta. Theta is angle between total acceleration and tangential acceleration. Okay, so theta is nothing but angle made by A with AT. Okay, angle made by A with AT. This is the angle theta. This we can also say that this theta angle represents the direction of acceleration. Okay, so that is nothing but theta. Also understand that since this is a curved path, okay, because this is a curved path, it should have a radius of curvature. Okay, so capital R is the radius of curvature. Okay, it is a curved path, and any curved surface or any curved line should have a radius. Okay, so capital R will represent radius of curvature. Okay, now in this case there are certain formulas which denote the relationship between all these parameters. Okay, so let us see that. Now see, as I have told you that AT, that is tangential acceleration, is responsible for the movement of that particle. Okay, so tangential acceleration is nothing but change in velocity with respect. We know that acceleration is nothing but change in velocity with respect to time. Okay, and this AT, if you want to find out AT, we should have or we should use the three basic laws of motion. This we have seen in linear motion. Okay, and since this is a curvilinear motion, it is a combination of curve as well as linear motion, so we can use the formulas of linear motion. Okay, so we know the conventional formula: V is equal to U plus AT, S is equal to UT plus half AT square, V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. Okay, but instead of A, we have replaced A by AT. Okay, we have replaced A by AT in all these three formulas. Why? Because in this case our A is AT. Okay, that is tangential acceleration. This tangential acceleration is responsible for the linear motion of that particle. Okay, so for finding out AT, you can use these three formulas. Okay, and how to calculate value of AT we will see in upcoming videos, which will include solving of numericals. Okay, that time this concept will be cleared. Okay, but for the time being, understand that for calculating AT, use these three formulae. Okay, now we have calculated AT. Okay, okay. Now before going to AN, now see AT. Always remember, friends, that if velocity is uniform, okay, if velocity is uniform, AT is equal to 0. Okay, why? Because the velocity is uniform. And what is acceleration? It is change in velocity with respect to time. Okay, there is no change. Why? Because the velocity is uniform. Okay, if the change in velocity is 0, that means this term will also become 0. Okay, so always remember, if velocity is uniform, acceleration will be equal to 0. This we have used in multiple places. Okay, and you should always know this fact. Okay, now if velocity changes at uniform rate, okay, now the velocity is not uniform. Okay, it is changing at a uniform rate. Let's take a certain example. So for example, if there is a car which is moving with a uniform velocity of say 50 km per hour. Okay, so there is no change in velocity. That means the acceleration of that car is 0. Okay, but if that car is moving with a velocity which changes at uniform rate, okay, the velocity is changing, it is not uniform, it is changing, but it is changing at a uniform rate. So suppose that same car, first it is moving with a velocity of 50 km per hour, okay, then afterward it is moving with 55 km per hour, then 60 km per hour, then 65 km per hour. So if you observe here, the change in velocity is of 5 km per hour, okay, which is uniform. So in that case, the acceleration is not equal to 0, it is constant. Why? Because the change in velocity with respect to change in time is always constant. Okay, it is moving at an increment of 5 km per hour. So the change in velocity with respect to change in time is uniform. That is why AT is equal to constant. See, these are two cases. You will always get confused in these two cases. Okay, but do not get confused. Just remember that when velocity is uniform, acceleration is 0. But when velocity changes at uniform rate, acceleration is constant. Okay, so we have seen AT. For calculating the value of AT, you can use these three formulas. Okay, now there is another formula for calculation of normal acceleration, that is AN. It is equal to V square upon R. V is the velocity, okay, velocity with which this particle is moving, okay, and what is R? R is the radius of curvature. So there is a dedicated formula for normal acceleration. It is V square upon R. Okay, and to find out total acceleration, A is the total acceleration. It is under root AT square plus AN square. Okay, so AT you can find out from these formulas, AN you can find out from this formula, and total acceleration is under root of AT square plus AN square. Okay, and for calculating the value of theta, there is the formula: theta is equal to tan inverse AN upon AT. Okay, now see, this angle theta is between A and AT. Okay, it is the angle between A and AT, but in formula it is tan inverse of AN upon AT. Okay, do not get confused. Do not write here tan inverse 80 upon an. Okay, which usually the students make this mistake. So that is why I am giving more emphasis on this particular part. Okay, so always remember this formula. It is theta is equal to tan inverse an upon 80 and not 80 upon an. Okay, so these are the basic formulas which are used for solving numericals on curvilinear motion. Okay, so I hope you have understood these formulas, and we'll use all these formulas in upcoming videos which will include solving of problems. Thank you.